Hey everyone, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jesse.
And you're watching Elon's Tweets of the Week
On Now You Know.
Now what are you doing? We have to start the show.
Okay, hit the up button on your keyboard there and let's see what happens.
Okay.
Ow! Okay.
Oh.
That didn't work.
What a surprise. What are you trying to do here?
I was trying to make my own Neuralink.
And you know what I'm going to say about that, right? You're going to electrocute yourself. You should take some courses on Brilliant, today's sponsor.
How is Brilliant going to help me learn about how Neuralink works?
I mean, Brilliant teaches over 60 different courses in really easy to understand ways. Over 10 million people have learned from Brilliant.
Oh, I suppose first I should have taken Brilliant's course on computer science foundations, algorithm fundamentals, data structures, and intro to neural networks.
Well, that would be a good start. With Brilliant's interactive problems and hints, you're actually learning at your pace in a way that sticks in your brain instead of zapping your brain.
Yeah, I love Brilliant storytelling. It works for me.
Or you could go back to hooking up wires to your head and see how that goes.
Yeah, good point. I should save all the neurons I can.
To support our channel and learn more about Brilliant, go to brilliant.org/nowyouknow and sign up for free.
And also, the first 200 people that go to that link will get 20% off the annual premium subscription. All right, Jesse. Space Hub tweeted out, "What's your guess? We landed on the moon in 1969. When are we landing on Mars? With people." See, so it's people.
Right. I don't know.
Take a guess.
I don't know, 2032?
2032. Guess what Elon said?
What?
2029. 7 years from now.
That's really exciting.
Isn't it? Do you think he's right?
I mean, it's smart. You're shooting for the end of the decade.
Didn't I hear him say before 2024 at one point would be when we'd actually land, not people, but like some test rockets?
Yeah. Take some time to
I'm
get
not.
all the stuff right.
No, I'm just
orbits. And
I hope he's right that it's this decade.
That'd be awesome.
It would be really awesome. Elon's working on Master Plan Part 3.
Yes.
We talked about this on Tesla Time News. He did give an update. Main Tesla subjects will be scaling to extreme size, which is needed to shift humanity away from fossil fuels, and AI. So he's not shifting away from AI. He kind of didn't write
Are we sure? Listen, that is some poor grammar.
It's not actually. The comma, it is poor, like it's not well structured, but like the comma means that that's a subject he's going to do, AI. And I will also include sections about SpaceX, Tesla, and the Boring Company. I am super excited about Master Plan 3. I'm just conjecturing here. I think he's going to talk about Tesla bots in a way that most people have not thought about. I think when he talks about AI, he's going to talk about the Tesla network in ways that people haven't really heard before. I mean, if you follow his Twitter like we do, I don't think any of this is going to be new, to be honest. But I think that putting it into a encapsulated form that the press can pick up on is probably pretty smart.
I think that is pretty smart. He's had 2 master plans before, and they usually make news when they come out. They don't. No one seems to go back and check and reference them and go like, "Oh, this is all according to Elon's plan." They're always just like, "Elon's some wacky, kooky guy who just kind of does whatever the heck he's thinking." And it's like,
plan number 1 all came true.
It's already done.
All
he's
came
already
true.
completed master plan number 1.
I mean, that's pretty insane. Because
it was an impossible. Like people were laughing him out of their offices.
Right. I mean, his plans are not like tiny little plans.
Back from 2006. Yeah. You couldn't buy an electric car in 2006.
You were 6 years away from the Model S. It seemed like a joke.
And he was talking about the Model 3 in 2006.
Yep. And he got it right. It's
amazing.
Insane.
In about 10 years.
Yeah.
It just, wow.
He tweeted out, "Working hard to make useful products and services for your fellow humans is deeply morally good. I have so much respect for the associates doing an honest day's work at Tesla or SpaceX, building and servicing cars, rockets, Starlinks, batteries, solar, and many other things."
Nice tweet there to his employees.
Yeah. Massimo said, "Hey, Elon, if Mars had ski slopes, would they look like this?"
Venga. Es que hasta que coges esto es difícil. Qué guapo.
And Elon said, "Yeah." So wait, that's someone skiing in the Sahara?
No, this is dust from the Sahara that got blown up into Spain last week and kind of coated the snow with the layer
Sand
of
covered
sand.
snow?
I don't know if I'd ski on that. I feel like that would ruin my skis. Now, I know that sand is teensy tiny. Have there ever been any like species of like land dwelling creatures that have been like sucked up and thrown thousands of miles? Is like, are we ever?
Yeah.
But I mean,
Well,
like,
do butterflies count?
they're so light, and they migrate anyway.
What-
I'm saying like, are we like, and that's why the Welsh butter toad ended up in Nova Scotia? Like, has that ever happened?
Probably. I mean, I've heard
if
of
you guys know,
I've heard
let
of
me-
frogs that get sucked up during
Yeah,
rainstorms
but they
and
don't
then
go that far. I'm talking thousands. I wanted to be like, what is it? It's a scorpion. What's it doing here in, like this place?
Okay, yeah. But just to go back to Mars, do you think there's going to be sand skiing in Mars?
You get some sick air on Mars because, again, it has about a third the gravity of Earth.
I'm sorry. I just came up with an awesome business idea. Sand skiing. You
They have mountains. They have. But I mean,
No, but I mean,
go to the
do
poles.
something to make your skis work on sand, and then you can ski anywhere where there's sand.
No, just go to the poles. Do it on Martian
No, but then it's
snow.
warm.
It's warm. What,
In a desert, you can ski in the heat.
on Mars?
No, here on Earth.
On Earth. I mean, okay.
I mean, ski jumps on Mars with less gravity.
That's what I'm
Oh
saying.
my God. Elon tweeted out FSD releasing to Canada next week or this week now. So I looked it up. There's about 40,000 Model 3s sold in Canada so far since 2018. For context, just in 2021, Tesla sold 53,000 cars in California. So, I mean, it's a pretty small market because obviously Canada isn't as heavily populated, but a lot of excited Canadians.
That is very exciting.
I wonder how many Canadians are going to like sign up and pay for like the subscription or buy FSD now that they can technically get it.
I know that a lot of them already have bought full self-driving, and I'm excited to see, if there are differences between the two road systems.
Right. The Independent tweeted out, opinion, how Russell Brand went from stand-up stardom to peddling YouTube conspiracy theories. Elon said, with so many mainstream media companies saying that Rusty Rockets or Russell Brand is crazy/dangerous, I watched some of his videos. Ironically, he seemed more balanced and insightful than those condemning him. The groupthink among major media companies is more troubling. There should be more dissent. And I've followed Russell Brand for years as a comic when he was married to... who's the fireworks star?
Oh, Katy Perry.
Katy Perry.
Okay.
And their whole divorce and breakup, whatever. I always thought he was a funny comic. And then he's, kind of morphed into a YouTuber. And yeah, I mean, it's easy to just blanketly say like he looks like a guru, so he's crazy. But if you watch his videos, I mean, he's a really smart person. He may be a different, political bent than you are, but like, I don't know about this conspiracy theory kind of stuff. I think that, yeah, he's a pretty smart guy. I just think that, the media loves to label people. And if you already have a label in mind when you then go watch someone, you're like, okay, so he must be crazy. It's like, well, do what Elon did. Go back to first principles, watch him and make up your own mind.
Right. I don't know what they're specifically targeting. I'm sure they're speaking about one particular video. I hate judging people based on one particular video. I just think that it's kind of stupid. I think that you do have to take a whole person's work to kind of gain an understanding of who they are,
Right.
especially when they're a fairly nuanced person and have put out a lot of content like someone like Russell Brand. So
He's a really good interviewer and he has really good discussions with people. So, I mean, I think that's a value to all of us.
it's the same kind of thing with the Joe Rogan thing where people go like,
Right.
Joe Rogan, no. And it's
Look
like,
at his body of work. I
it's
mean,
like, yeah, like he entertains a lot of ideas, and I mean, he is who he is.
well,
But
and I'll also say that, like, if you're putting out as much content as these guys are, I mean, we put out a lot of content,
Sure.
but it's a lot of prepared content. If you're having people on the show and it's just kind of going out there, you don't know what you're going to get.
and I mean, we do interviews with mainly companies, so it's not a lot of like crazy
Right.
talk. But there's a lot of companies that we smile and nod along with, and at the end of the day, we're like, yeah, we weren't that impressed with them. So,
Right.
I always take this stuff with a grain of salt, and I agree with Elon's message here, which is just, before you get all in a tizzy about something, like, understand.
Go do your own
that-
research.
Yeah.
Remember you said before, so much of our programming is who put it there. Did you put it there? So make up your mind by like actually going and doing the work yourself, which most people are too lazy to do.
Yeah.
MG Siegler said several years into GDPR, which means General Data Protection Regulation, it remains f***ing bonkers in practice. Every site on the internet gets an awful pop-up that no one reads and clicks anything to make go away as quickly as possible. It's an idea that 100% backfired and is pointless and makes every website worse. And Elon said,
Absolutely.
so what we're talking about here is you go into most sites, somewhere down the bottom usually is a box that says, do you agree to cookies and other blah, 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 blah?
It's usually not in the bottom. It's usually like you're reading and then all of a sudden pop up.
Right.
Do you agree? Do you want to do this and that and the other thing? And also there's 14,000 different types of cookies that we're going to put on there.
Here's the thing I hate. If I go into, let's say, a German site and a German cookie thing pops up, I can't read it. I can't click anything to translate it, so I don't know what I'm clicking. I don't even know which button means what. Yeah. And I have to just like, okay, what? If I click the wrong button, do I now get cookies? Like,
right.
And then I think that hackers can take advantage of this because I think that they can just put up something and we're so used to just clicking quickly to get off of it that it could say like, do you want us to take over your computer?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I agree with Elon. And this is, the law of unintended consequences, right? I'm sure it had a good purpose, but it's completely backfired. And who the heck is changing this? Right. Shibatoshi Nakamoto said, I need a new excuse to avoid people since no one cares about COVID anymore. Elon said the limbic instinct for vengeance is incredibly strong, which is why turn the other cheek is such a powerful idea, as it ends the cycle of retribution. And I just want to stop here for a second, and it's really true. Limbic instinct, meaning you insult me, and I just have a base instinct to want to punch you, right? Mm-hmm. And it's hard because we're just animals to stop and go, okay, well, he just said some words that hurt my feelings, but you know what? I can walk away. And I think, he brings up a really good point. If you can stop that cycle, because if I do punch you, okay, well, then now you hate me. And like it never ends. And that's a problem with humans is that we start with something as simple as, a comment on a video where you don't like someone and it ends up, God knows where it ends up.
Right. I think it's so interesting that Elon can bring up conversations like this. No other CEOs are bringing up philosophical or ethical thoughts like this.
But here's the problem with Twitter.
Sure.
It's like you go out into the town square, you say something like this, right? And some smart people respond with some smart comments. And then a whole bunch of other people are like, "Doge to the moon!" And it's like, okay, well, you can't now you have to just be like, okay, goodbye.
Right.
And that's what Elon does. He puts out something intelligent and then quickly leaves because there's so much crap on Twitter. And there's no smart AI on Twitter. Like, when is Twitter going to come up with an AI that I don't want to hear the Doge to the moon stuff? So don't make me physically go through and mute all those people because that just takes my mind. Do it for me. Leave the smart people I like.
Right.
Introduce me to some new smart people. Right. It's not hard to do.
Right. Curate some stuff.
Yeah.
And also get rid of the bots.
Yes, the bots,
man.
Oh
my gosh. I mean, I know that most of the people watching this right now, the reason that you're watching that is because Twitter is impossible to like just navigate. Hard to find all of Elon's tweets. I mean,
and then put them in context.
Exactly, and then just to good. It's just so awful to deal with.
Yeah.
I mean, I signed up for Twitter and I was like, well, I'm going to use Twitter, and then I was like, no, I'm not.
I know. Elon retweeted the SpaceX tweet. Falcon 9's first stage has landed on the Just Read the Instructions drone ship. This is the first time a Falcon 9 first stage has launched and landed 12 times. Now,
stop right there for 1 second. Okay, so the Falcon 9 first stage, right, is the rocket,
14-story rocket
at the bottom of the Falcon 9 rocket. When you see it go up, it's the thing that's on fire at the bottom, along with the most of the rocket. It's launched and landed 12 times. He's recouping the cost on that investment in ways that no rocket has ever done.
Not only that, but he's showing people and companies that this is reliable. This is on a drone ship in the ocean. Like, not even on land again.
Yeah.
Do you know how hard it would be to even hit that thing?
I know. And it goes out into the ocean. A rocket made out of, metals and stuff. And then it comes back.
And gets reused.
I mean,
sometimes days later.
I feel like I've taken like a car on like a ferry before and just been like, what is going on afterwards? Because it like just started to rust spontaneously.
This is what I love about Elon. Years before he did it, everyone in the industry said you can't do it. And what did Elon do? Oh, well, I think it's not impossible. I'm going to try it. And he did
it's
it.
really hard. Hey, did you know that it's actually really hard to do that? Here's a thing that I think is really hard.
And you know what's also funny? He's been doing it for years now.
Yeah.
ULA.
I know.
Ariane.
I know.
Russia. Where's your rocket that can land itself? Nowhere.
Yeah.
Elon tweeted out, and this is very apropos, geniuses are often rejected by society. Of course, that's one way to cook a pizza.
Well, it's actually the only way, or one of the only ways, that you could cook
Two round
pizzas on a square rack of that size.
Yeah.
Math.
And again, it shows he thinks of solutions that most people wouldn't think of.
I mean, he didn't think of this one.
No, I know.
Some other genius thought of that one.
Right. So Teslarati tweeted out, Tesla Model X 5-seater deliveries begin. Is there new hope for a 7-seat plaid variant?
Elon said the 6-seat Model X is best in my opinion. There are times when I only want to offer that variant.
Interesting. We've got a 7-seat Model X. And there are times when it is a little tricky to get out of those 6th and 7th seats in the back there. So I can see why. But on the other hand, it's nice when you do have 7 people you want to carry around. Spidey Elon fan said Giga Berlin is around 20 minutes from Berlin and has a total area of 1.2 square miles. Over 8,000 employees at Giga Berlin. Conceptualized in 2015, more than 10 European countries had campaigned to have the factory located within their jurisdictions. Graffiti at Giga is fire.
And Elon said Giga Berlin Brandenburg will be covered with beautiful art inside and out.
I mean, they've already got some beautiful art on the outside there. Ben Bergman, who is, by the way, a Business Insider writer, said, the very rare time as a Tesla owner, I wish I could pay $6 a gallon for gas and be on my way. We need more superchargers, Elon.
And Elon said, working on it.
Here's what I don't like. I don't like Business Insider. Never liked them.
They've always had a
always fuddy.
Always very fuddy.
Yeah.
And very negative on Tesla.
Yeah.
And
so this is one of those, I'm a Tesla owner, but kind of things. Yeah. And you want to pay $6 a gallon and support the fossil fuel industry? Yeah, go right ahead. Now, remember, Elon had tweeted, I hereby challenge Putin to single combat stakes.
Yeah, no, you know what? I want to go back. I want to talk more about that fucking tweet.
Okay.
This guy, they're making new superchargers practically every day.
Right.
We cover it on Tesla Time News every week. Last week we had, 12, 15 new supercharger stations in the world.
Of course, there are some locations where there's a crowd here and there.
Very local. It's usually really big population of Teslas.
Right.
These people somehow don't want to charge at home. Not what the supercharger network was made for, in my opinion. I don't think that it's just supposed to be this I don't feel like plugging in at my house.
No, and you know what? No other car maker has a charging network. Every other car maker uses someone else's network.
Best network. So, Ben Bergman, are you saying that just EVs? I mean, I guess he wants to pay for gas. He wants to pay $6 a gallon for gas.
Do you care about the environment?
Do you care about other people's wallets? I mean, we were on here the other week talking about I think that this is why the government should support subsidies for EVs. It's not just because I think that EVs are the greatest. It's because I think that people don't deserve to be paying $6 for gas. They didn't do anything to deserve that. So why are you asking for $6 a gallon for gas? And also, I wish I could pay. You can go buy another car. We don't need you.
Exactly. Or go charge an Electrify America station. That's right.
Or go charge at your house. It's simple. You charge at your house most of the time. Where is this supercharger? Where is it? I don't know. He didn't say, hey, this area needs more superchargers. Right. We've all been saying different areas need more superchargers.
But also, the CEO of Tesla gets back to you and says, we're working on it. And they actually are.
I mean, he's not even lying. We're working on it. Yeah, they've been working on it since 2015, bud.
Exactly. So I will move on to Elon. Remember, had challenged Putin to single combat. The stakes are Ukraine. And CZ Binance said, brother, I wish for you to win, of course. But the reality is... Laughy face, I haven't seen your kung fu videos. And then Elon put up a picture of his sumo wrestling where he said, I managed to throw him, but it cost me smashing my C5 and C6 disc and 8 years of mega back pain. Finally fixed with C5, C6 disc fusion. Ouch.
Yeah.
I know what back pain feels like.
But look at that guy.
Look at that.
He threw that guy.
I bet you every time Elon sees that picture, he goes,
oh. Yeah. And then, yeah.
So, I think he has a good chance against Putin.
What if it was sumo wrestling?
Yeah, I mean, depends what challenge they...
I mean, here's the thing with Elon. He's kind of crazy. I mean,
he might
look at the things that he's done.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it, not from a physical fighting perspective, but I mean, he doesn't give up.
No.
That's a little scary.
Yep. Shibatoshi Nakamoto said, if no one comes from the future to stop you from doing it, then how bad can it be? And Elon said, okay, maybe I should play League then. So what's he referring to?
He's talking about League of Legends. It's a video game.
And is it like a... that game, right. Now, is that the one that's like highly addictive and you end up playing it all night kind of thing?
Yeah.
I don't think Elon's ever had time to do that. Yeah. Popa Muscanity said, so this is how the world ends, with you going back in time to prevent yourself from playing League and causing a time paradox when you meet yourself destroying all of reality.
And Elon laughed. That's good.
Elon said, excited to hand over the first production cars made by Giga Berlin Brandenburg tomorrow. And then on Tuesday, of course, Giga Berlin opened and they handed over the first 30 cars.
Yeah.
So I guess Bob and Bob should redo the show. The Giga Cup has been won by Berlin, it looks like.
Exactly.
Ashley Vance said, sometimes I think Google Translate is having a go at Russia's space chief. And so here's the Russian. Here's the Google translation. What nonsense. Space is not able to do what our frigate did. OneWeb is doomed, despite your warm hands from the applause. What are you happy about? Demagoguery of a boa constrictor with a chicken? That they were lucky to meet on a narrow path? I'm sorry, OneWeb, but they are to blame. And then Elon tweeted out a snake chicken.
So I think that Rogozin, I hate making people a punching bag, but he makes it so easy.
Oh, yeah.
So if I can have a little poetic license or something, he is saying we canceled the deal with OneWeb because of all of your sanctions against our country because we invaded Ukraine. And he's going, and so in the news recently, OneWeb, which is another satellite internet company, had to basically, they were told the Russians were not going to be carrying their satellites into orbit anymore. And that brings us to these next tweets here.
Yeah, Michael Sheets says, Quilty Analytics found that U.S. space companies are poised to benefit from Russia cutting itself off from much of the global space industry, with SpaceX the clear winner in the launch market, exemplified this morning by OneWeb's new deal.
Elon said SpaceX default plan was roughly 65% of global launch mass to orbit this year. Incremental demand might take up to 70%, so not a major change. Those numbers don't count Starship. Rough math is 16 tons times 50 launches equals 800 tons. Rest of the world is less than 400 tons, mostly China. And so, OneWeb basically was going to be launched on a Russian rocket.
And OneWeb, to remind everyone, is going to be kind of like a Starlink.
Kind of like a Starlink. They don't have as many satellites up in orbit, and I don't think they plan to have quite as many satellites as Starlink. It's not exactly the same kind of web service.
Do you remember for a while, the word out on the street was that OneWeb was going to kick Starlink's butt because Starlink would take too long and OneWeb would be first?
And
just a reminder that you can't always rely on the word on the street.
Because if you just looked at it, you have Starlink, which is SpaceX, and SpaceX has those reusable rockets, which means that you can get into orbit a lot cheaper than having to deal with the Russians. And then if there's some kind of global conflict, that's going to be
your business plan's kind of thrown off.
Your business plan's going to.
So now your competitor has to bring you to space.
And so OneWeb is now paying SpaceX to launch their satellites into orbit.
What a weird world.
What interesting.
Fascinating.
Elon went on to say first Starship orbital flight will be with Raptor 2 engines, as they are much more capable and reliable. 230 tons or about 5,000 pounds of thrust at sea level. We'll have 39 flight-worthy engines built by next month, then another month to integrate, so hopefully May for orbital flight test. Evelyn said, will Starship SN20 and Super Heavy Booster 4 still conduct the orbital flight, or is it new prototypes?
And Elon said new.
Oh, so we've kind of pushed back then what I was hoping was going to be the first orbital flight. Looks like now we're looking at May, but this would be with an even better, improved Starship. So, okay. And then to end the show, let's end on a good note. Yeah. Elon said, thanks, Germany.
And that is, of course, because they've opened the Gigafactory.
How exciting.
I'd be thanking Germany, too, after all the crap that they put them through with environmental studies and all this stuff. And it's like,
you're not going to have enough water.
Yeah, and now...
You took down the trees.
Right, it's all open. They saved the lizards. Yep. We did it.
Wow.
Congratulations, Tesla.
This is
everyone working in Tesla. I want to give yourself a pat on the back because...
It's a monumental moment.
So monumental. I think that we're going to be looking back on this moment in particular as one of the biggest moments in Tesla history and in the history of the world in terms of the transition to clean, renewable energy.
I mean, a year from today, what is Europe going to look like? German car companies.
That's a weird way. That's a weird thing to say. Yes.
On so many levels.
But what will the car industry in Europe look like? It's going to be This is going to be huge.
Exciting times.
Very exciting.
Thank you so much for joining us for this Tweets of the Week. We're having so much fun doing it. Thank you for loving the show. So many people are messaging me and being like, thank you for breaking this up into a separate show. We're just happy to do it. So thank you for that. If you want to support us, head on over to Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you can see all of our Patreon bonus stories.
And you might be wondering, Zach and Jesse, why'd you change shirts in the middle of the show? We record this on 2 different days, right?
Because give you the last up-to-the-minute tweets.
We recorded this as soon as we could. Not right now. A couple minutes ago, before this came out, our editors were working on editing this together so that you could watch it. And I want to thank our patrons again, because they are the ones supporting this, making this possible, and making this show possible for you to see. So if you want to help support us, like Zach said, you can head over to patreon.com/nowyouknow.
See you next week. Now you know.